it's like we started talking about maybe doing a couple other shows just through the winter while we have it dusted off, you know. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
It was a really cool show last night, man.
Thank you.
I'm sorry we had to dip before the talk at the end, but we had to go get Lucy. She was returning from her basketball game.
That is, I feel a little bad that you missed her debut.
Oh yeah.
How'd she do?
She said she did pretty good. She didn't score anything. The other team was really good. They kind of got blown out again, but she played a lot of minutes, and she said that she was, you know, happy with her play. She could have done better, but she said she was putting up a lot of shots. So that's good.
All right, so this is just a quickie experiment, but this is the original mix. Original rough mix. Well, I might be getting a copyright strike now on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
It was a slow day, and the sun was beating on the soldiers by the side of the road. There was a bright light, a shattering of shop windows, the bombing.
Pretty cool, raw. So this is 20 minutes of a fresh mix.
All right.
Not a deep dive, but
It was a slow day, and the sun was beating on
Hey!
the soldiers by the side of the
Hey!
road.
What's that,
Young
Bean?
blood.
Going, y'all.
What's shaking, dude?
Hey, bud. Oh, Percy, how's it going?
This is Lex's son, Grayson, talking to the stream. You're on TV.
Oh, really? Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's actually that little camera over there. You can always tell by the right screen what they're seeing.
Yeah, it's kind of far away.
Wait, where's it at?
What's that?
Where's it at?
It's in the piano.
Percy, it's okay, bud.
It's
okay,
A
bud.
little treat bucket down here for visitors to give Percy.
Percy.
Remember that dude?
So, yeah, I remember. I don't like it.
Yeah. I sure do.
What are you guys working on today?
Don't know yet. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
We haven't really gotten into anything. I was just playing him. Oh, I heard the screech.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
The lapel mics.
Got these lapel mics that we're just kind of using right now to be heard.
Should just invest in some nicer ones. Boy, I'd like to figure it out.
Yeah.
They make this horrible noise from time to time.
Oh,
Screech.
like, is it
It's show
feedback or-
ending. It's like it's
Screech.
but high pitched
Yeah.
screeching. It sounds like. Have you seen Andor yet?
It's amazing.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
What is it? Andor?
It's about Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
Oh God, there it is. How they torture her with the death screams of some alien species.
Yeah.
That
That's crazy. That's what this is.
that's what it is. That's what
They
she
probably
hears.
have these, and
Yeah,
they made it.
That's how they did it.
Wow. I don't know. We'll just monitor the situation here.
Nope, there it is. Sorry out there, everybody.
Muting.
It's so hard to tell.
Might be feedback between the two. Like,
Does it happen at the Jabberjawn?
It happened once at the beginning of the last one, and then didn't happen again. It's very mysterious.
That is weird. So I think I'm going to put down some bass on, what's it called again?
Back down, boy.
Back Down Boy.
can I hear what you got so far, Nathan?
Yep.
So Nathan does a lot of, like, he'll build the whole song, and you should probably pull up I can move that little amp, or you can use a stool or something and scoot in near him so you can kind of just see what he's seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, my son Grayson is learning Logic and stuff. He's been a musician all his life, really, but he's really starting to tap into it, I think, now, and trying to learn the different software and things.
So do you use, like, I know you're probably more audio interface, like recording audio into Logic more than MIDI, right?
All the above.
It's just a mix. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use for drums? Do you use live or drum packs?
Superior Drummer for my cheats.
Oh, is that a plugin?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
It's I bought it. I forget how expensive it is. It's not super expensive.
It's got a lot of really, really good.
It's like a
True
full drum
sounds.
kit. You can swap out the drums and then insert groove packs and stuff. So I bought like a shitload of MIDI drum pattern packs.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's one thing. I don't know, like, I need to learn more about the plugins before
This one has it on there. Here's my Superior Drummer.
Is it all types of drums, or is it, like, more acoustic based?
All acoustic.
Okay.
But they have all kinds of.
That looks similar to
them.
the,
But you can swap out, like, change the snare, change the kick.
oh, that does sound good.
It's got the
And they're kind of based
got
on
its
real
built-in
instruments.
yeah, they're all like
So, like, the snare you choose exists in real life.
Oh, like somebody recorded that snare.
Yeah,
super
and like if you
professionally
know,
sampled.
if you know, like, oh man, I love this, certain snare. I can't think of one to give you an example, but I love this particular, I don't even know. I'm not a drummer.
Has a fun orchestral percussion pack too.
Oh, that is cool.
And then you got your grooves in here. These are all packs I've bought. Roots, indie folk, country grooves. So usually what I'll do is I'll figure out the beats per minute, the tempo of the song, and lay down an acoustic version of it to the click. And then I'll go into Superior Drummer and just start clicking through all the grooves.
And just find a loop
and
that
find one
helps.
that works with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
and then tweak it if I have to. If there's like
Okay.
a hit I don't like or something, then I can go into. Then once I have it down here, you can even in here edit the hits.
Like where they
okay.
come in and what ones.
That's cool. Not a lot of pre-recorded groups you can like go in and edit. It's just like a sound.
That's the
sound
thing.
file.
Yeah.
I used to use loops, like audio loops or whatever, and it was too limiting because you couldn't change it a little bit.
Yeah.
And they usually had just too much sound.
Yeah.
I could go in here and in the MIDI and cut like all the snares down, mute the kicks or anything I need
so
to do.
it gives it to the piano roll on Logic too, not
Mhm.
just on.
Yeah, I drag it out of the
Mhm.
plug-in into the track.
Okay,
and then I
that's
can-
cool. So it splits it up into like the stems of each individual drum. That's really cool.
And then you can like set velocity, all
You can
kinds
even
of
add
stuff.
like like I like the beat, but I don't like the hi-hat. Delete the hi-hat and redo it or something.
Yeah.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toes. So that's this thing's called an Apollo interface. Those are my analog to digital. That's my analog to digital converter. For a microphone to go into the computer.
That's this
It's just
thing
a
right
really
here.
fancy version of like that guy up there.
Yeah,
Right.
audio.
This right here. Have you seen the small ones they got now? The little Vitros or something, I think is what it's
They
called.
always had a single.
Oh, really?
But-
It's about the size of that. It's like a little two.
The size
Input
of that
guy.
guy up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had them like that.
Yeah, those are sweet. So this has eight inputs, and that's all right here. So that's my mixing board for the Apollo.
Okay. And that integrates with Logic.
And like, yeah.
Okay.
So in Logic, if I, like right now, I'm gonna create a new bass track. Here, we'll mute this guy. And a new one. And he's 4, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So input 4 going into Logic.
So one thing I need to work on in Logic is just workflow, because it's like learning the keyboard shortcuts and all that. You know what I mean? Just to speed up the process, because it's like I'll get stuck on one thing, you know, and then just sit there. I have to look up 10 YouTube videos to figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's it.
It's all workflow.
Yeah.
It really is. Some of the most important things.
Because it sucks when you have like an idea in your head, and then you have to spend 10 minutes looking up how to do it, and then by the time you've learned how to do it, you kind of forgot what the original idea was.
Yeah, you want to be able to capture
I'm 52
it.
years old, and it's still the story of my life. So the minute you can do all that stuff, you'll have a new idea you want to do, and you'll have to spend 10 minutes on YouTube figuring out how to do it. You're always exceeding yourself.
Half the time I'll be playing something on the piano,
Borrowed a tuner.
trying to figure something out, and then I'll find something out, like I'll hit a note and I'm like, oh, that sounded cool, and then I'll move up there on the keyboard, and then I'm like, oh wait, what was I doing? And then I forget.
You're right. What was that?
That's tough. Yeah, mine's set up over here.
Shop there.
Stretch bearing land. But I'm not using any of this stuff right now. Right now I'm just plugged straight into this, which then this has these cables coming out, and it plugs into a snake,
Oh, this is the Nova.
which is right next to it.
Mini Nova.
Yeah.
Back over.
And then that runs over to him, so that way
Okay.
he can get my signal. But again, none of this stuff is really on right now.
You ever do anything like this?
Yeah, he has. There's a
Yeah.
great song that is in the garage. It's still in the shop. Theme song. He was asking, have you done anything with that?
Even play that thing without me hearing the one song I wrote on it.
Yeah. It literally starts out like, wait,
That's it.
wait. That's it.
I think everybody needs a band. Follow them around.
It's a great song. Oh, it's gonna have an amazing video.
Dude, there's so many instruments in here. I'm just like, oh, my brain is tickled.
They all work too, and they
You'll
all
always find, every time you come over, you'll find something new to play with.
yeah. Yep. Well, do you have a signal?
Wait, I've lost
Check it. I can hear something.
here and there.
Hey. That's some screechy going on.
Check. So Grayson, you're free to pick up and play with anything you see in here except for from here down. That's the magic corner back there. That's why I built this wall here, so people can't storm the castle and steal all my secrets.
I got you.
But otherwise,
What is that?
feel free.
That a tuba?
Sousaphone.
Sousaphone.
Yeah, this guy in Holland bought it in the States and had it sent here, And in February, he's coming to the States to visit, and he's gonna spend a couple of days here and come get his sousaphone.
That's the guy, Arno, that I showed you a picture from Jam Cruise one time, and it was me and two big dudes with beards, and we're just looking all crazy at the camera. One of them was Jeff Miller,
Oh, yeah.
and the other is Arno.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Andy Frasco?
Actually, that rings a bell.
He played in that band
Mm-hmm.
when we met him. What is it, Andy Frasco and the
And the UN?
UN? All right, let's hear you.
Let's go, Dad.
No, nothing yet. I thought I heard you when you plugged in.
Really?
I heard that. You just made some noise. Yeah, there you are. Oh, something loose.
Nothing now?
Nope.
Well, that's weird.
Can you hear the clicks in your headphone?
Mm-hmm. But it's not a very strong. Should it be stronger?
There you are.
I think my battery's dead.
Uh-oh. What kind of battery you need?
A 9 volt,
9
but
volt.
but I can. I'll play it without the pickup.
Okay.
Ooh, it's loud.
Yeah, now you're too loud.
All right, let's do some sound shaping. In
Let's
here.
see if there might be a count in on here already. Yep.
Hang on, just a minute.
Want to just play a little bit, see what it sounds like?
Hang on, just a second. That's not. None of those work. It's just that.
Swaby says, man, that looks so cool. Nice custom work, Lex.
Oh, the bass.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Just zoom in on that for you. Face the camera for a second. Yeah.
That one.
The Lex Cam. That's what I call that thing. First I didn't think I liked it, but I'm growing to like it. It's fun playing with the focus knobs.
Grayson, you should get some headphones. There's definitely
Actually,
some.
with the bass, we don't need it.
Yeah, we could hear it out here.
Oh, okay. All right.
We don't have to worry about bleed or feedback.
Fine. Have it your way. I'm just gonna mess with this a little bit. Yeah. Scratchy.
You
All right,
ready?
let's try it. I think so. I don't even know what key it's in. I just.
See.
All right.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you wanna get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. stood tall as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys.
Is this the verse? Yeah,
Say again?
that was the verse for the solo.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Just feeling my way around.
It's fun. I'm dialing you in a little bit, too.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear yourself good enough?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's weird. You're looking pretty strong on the meter, but the waveform is pretty small. Let me just solo it for a second.
Check. Say,
Sounds good. The waveform is small. Is all. Hit it again. Hard as you will. From the top?
Yep.
been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last out at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys, so we'll
ended on E. What? It's a neat little note in there. Let's try it again.
All right, let me make sure we like the sound.
Okay, okay.
Are you creating a take folder? Is that what that is right there?
Yeah, just it automatically does.
Is that a setting,
So
Nathan?
each of,
Is that a thing you turn on or off?
I think it's default.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you can cut it off.
Because I actually just switched one trying to record vocals because what it'll do is it'll automatically create a new track. So like.
Oh, you have to cut that off.
oh yeah, yeah.
Create like a new track so that way you could, if you wanted to do like layering vocals, you could sing one. It would repeat the cycle if you have that on, and then you would be able to sing over it in like a harmony or like.
Oh, and hear back what you just
Oh,
did.
gotcha.
That's
you'd be
cool.
able to just keep going if you wanted to make a harmony. It's like a quick way.
Yeah, that's a good.
That
that's
is
sweet.
Yeah.
My audio interface, the Scarlett Solo, it hasn't worked. Like I'll plug it. It was kind of the same thing that you had going, Dad, with your bass before you did whatever you did. But it was just like I'd plug it in, I'd hear it, be able to like the and like the buzz, but it wouldn't actually, make any sound once I had it plugged in.
Huh.
It wouldn't read.
Yeah, I need to get over there and it's still being like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I tried resetting Logic. I tried resetting.
Wait, what'd you
the
say it was
keyboard.
doing?
It was just not picking it up. It
The
wasn't-
interface isn't working
Like
correctly.
I'll plug it in and the green light that comes up when the sound is on, like when you're strumming the guitar, it wouldn't actually play anything.
What's the interface?
Scarlett Solo. It's pretty new too. I mean, Dad, you gave it to me like not too long ago.
But the Logic recognizes it.
Yeah.
It comes
Like,
up
it
as a
works.
slot.
I think it worked before because we tried it when I first got Logic, Dad, on that one song that we made. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it definitely
worked.
did
It's just,
work.
I don't know
Do you have
what
an
it is.
amp?
Yeah, I do have an amp.
So the first move is plug your guitar into the amp. Make sure your pickup's working on that to eliminate all the variables.
Okay.
Right, make sure the guitars.
And
yeah.
then does your like on this? Hey, see those green lights?
Yeah.
That so it's getting signal.
Yeah.
Do you have those lights?
So that's the thing. When I'm putting it in, like say I'm taking the what do you call the cord?
Just the cable.
The cable. When I'm plugging that in, like the buzz and like the like when you're hitting it on the metal, but then as soon as I plug it in, it's like radio silent.
And the volume's
your
all turned
pickup.
up.
Yeah.
Does your pickup take a battery?
I'm
No,
not sure. Does it, Dad?
no, not that one.
Black and white? Yeah. I don't know.
But whenever something like that, like there's a chain of things that could be going wrong, and just like eliminate in your mind which each part of the chain, like plugging the guitar into a guitar amp, make sure your pickup's working. All right, pickup's working. You can check that off in the chain. Then it goes into the thing, So you look at it. Okay, my pickup's working, and the green lights are going. So it's getting so this guy's getting the signal, so I can check it off the chain. So now you're in Logic, and then you know where the problem is.
Right.
It's in Logic. It's a
So
software
what if that's
thing.
not picking up the sound though? Like if that's just black and not doing anything, then it's probably not pick up.
No, then if your guitar plays through the amp, but you don't get the lights going on the interface, then it's the interface is broke.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst case scenario, really. Well, depending on your pickup.
I feel I might be doing something wrong in Logic, but I feel like I troubleshooted like the integration with Logic pretty well, but I don't know. I'll have to check back.
I always feel free to hop in, catch me on Discord, or hop in a voice channel. You can share your screen or something if you ever need me to troubleshoot an issue or something on the fly.
What's the Discord?
Nathan's Land.
Dad, are you in the Discord?
Yep.
Can you send the link to me, like the invite link?
Yep.
It's on the website too, nathansland.com. There's a Discord link down on it on the home page. Okay, let's listen to a little bit of this here. Sounds pretty good, huh? You happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. Nice and clean. All right.
minutes since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down.
Let's try it again. Let's try it from the top.
Yep. I'm gonna bring you up a little bit,
Okay.
just because you're not hitting as hard as that. You're not gonna play much harder than you just did, right?
No. Let me get these snacks out of my pocket. Got some snacks, man. Anybody want some peanut butter snacks?
You good?
Snacky. Yep.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys.
So fun.
There's a couple little weird parts in there, but do we want to hear it? Listen to
Want to
it?
hear it or play it again?
Let's just play it one more time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far.
Well, the choking here.
Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last out at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believing my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. So we'll put away our toys.
Feeling it.
Okay. Want to
Oh,
hear
sorry, I
it?
just realized that Lex can hear my lapel mic too.
I'm hearing y'all jabber jawing
Yeah,
over
sorry
there.
about that.
Jabber jawing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I was looking for Grinner. I'm about to hand y'all to Grinner. No, I couldn't even, I could barely hear anything. Can we listen back to that last take maybe?
Yes, sir.
Is it too busy? Is it too compete-y with things?
Let's hear it.
What's your initial gut reaction?
You wanna...
Yeah, listen to the stuff over there.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out
Trying
of
a
your
little
clothes,
something different as on that last
but
tape.
I've forgotten the words, even how it goes.
Kind of starting off
I
simple,
know that it goes
get
without
a
saying.
little bit more quarter
You
notes in
can't
the
go
second
back
verse,
down, boy.
a little bit busier.
So Grayson on, I probably shouldn't do it yet. I'm gonna select all these files in the take folder, and I probably shouldn't do this now, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna crank the gain on them to get a bigger waveform.
So what does that do? Make it louder, or
It just makes it louder. Yep. And
is
you-
that like just for hearing it better, or you do that normally to all the?
And just I actually, because right now this fader is all the way up here, and the bass wasn't loud enough, so I'd have to be going above the unity, the bold 0 point right there.
You don't want to do that too much.
Don't really want to do that. So this way I can hang out down in here.
Oh my God, it moves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What? Dang.
I wish it didn't make sound. As it's getting old, it's like it's like
Yeah.
an old bot
It's funny.
creaking.
I used to use FL Studio a lot. Like that's my main thing. But when I switched to Logic, the MIDI keyboard that I have is like way more integrated with Logic than it is FL Studio. Like they have completely different functions split between the DAWs. Like on one, it's like based for like on Logic, it's more based for recording and stuff like that, and on FL Studio, it's just for like the arpeggiator and things like that. But no, it was cool because like I can use the actual like mixer, not the knobs, like I guess they're called the sliders, and like the pots and stuff like that. I can
Right.
use all of them now, which is really cool.
That is really cool.
It's just different. It makes mixing a little bit because like on the fly, I can kind of just adjust something if it's too loud, or because like if I'm like just turn it down a little bit, but before I had to like go into the software.
Yeah, it's nice to have that tactile
Like physically
thing.
doing it.
Yeah.
I want to train myself to use this even more than I do. There's so many things I could be doing on it that I don't. But it's still,
Save that one
it's
position
still-
you can kind of be moving around.
Even like doing these plugins with the knobs here.
Yeah, the parameters and all
So
that.
go back to Logic real quick. I saw you had certain things pan to the right and then others to the left. What is that? What influences you to make those decisions? So like,
Well,
the
for the
bass-
last 2 years, I made myself not pan anything.
really?
Just everything had to be down the middle, and I mean, the mixes really sort of suffered for it, and I suffered. We all suffered for it, but I was forcing myself to do it, like the old adage that in painting that you have to be able to paint an apple before you can justify doing something abstract. Like,
Yeah.
because if you just do something abstract, people are like, you just can't paint, But if you can paint an apple that looks like an apple, then you can, just throw a bucket of paint at the canvas. And if you like it, I trust you because I know you can do whatever you want.
Right. So
So learning how to make things sound as good as I could without panning, with just everything down the middle was like trying to paint the apple, because that's where all recording started, was with that ability, just like down the middle. And I mean, it was sort of a way just to force myself to learn, to not get confused by things,
Yeah.
because if everything's down the middle and you're just trying to make that sound, I mean, you learn a lot from trying to do that. Because if you have like two things that are in a similar frequency together, straight down the middle, you have to learn a lot about EQ to make those things distinguished from each other, even more importantly.
Yeah, because they'll drown
To
each
make
other
them
out and
into-
stuff.
But you could just pan them right and left. Done. To someone like me that's just learning, like, it was sort of a way to separate them without learning,
Yeah.
like,
Without panning.
Well, no, by panning them,
Oh,
like,
right,
because
gotcha.
back in the early days, I would just like take three guitars
Just like
and pan them three different ways.
Quick fix.
Whereas when I had all three guitars down the middle, I had to cut one of those guitars, or like
And then
that. It just
EQ the
forces.
other.
by creating limits or whatever, you're forced to learn more.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
That is one thing. Mixing is like I'll not mix a track and just say it's done, you know, because like I don't know, like I feel like mixing is a whole game of its own, you know.
Hey,
It's
Sean.
like,
Sorry.
it's a big beast to conquer. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just there's so many little details, and you have to know so much about sound design, you know, and like deeper.
I mean, it really comes. There are definite science things, but it really comes down to like what you hear.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. I might. Do you
It's
think
always-
I'm just overcomplicating it then in my head, just kind of.
It's complicated stuff.
Yeah. One thing I read one time, which I don't know that we've ever really implemented it. We may have talked about it one night, but I was reading about like having like a reference track, like when you're mixing. You know, like
I
a
still
song
can't
that
believe
you
it.
like,
Right.
you know, and you're like, I love the way this sounds. If I can get my shit sounding like that. Not that your song sounds like it, but the mix, like,
Right.
oh, the vocals are just not too loud and the drum beat's right there. I don't have to struggle to hear the bass. I can hear those little guitar parts, you know what I mean? And like, and you have a reference like of something that you like, the way it's mixed and sounds as you're mixing your track, so that you could just try to like it helps, you know, zero in on some of the
It's funny.
mysteries.
It's such an important thing to do, and I never do it. But
Yeah.
I often walk around thinking about how I should be doing that.
Yeah.
It'll hit me like when I'm not. I'll be in the grocery store or something. Be like, why aren't you pulling reference tracks into your project and A/Bing it? Because everybody says to do that. All the pros say to do that.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. You just like pull in a song that's similar that you like to the one you're producing. Just pull it in on a track so it's always there, and you can just unmute it and just check it out for a second, and then tweak stuff in your mix to make it sound. Try to
Yeah,
and
because
just have it right in there with it.
Your ears, you know, will kind of get. It's hard to break out of like. It's hard to get fresh ears sometimes when you're mixing, and you need fresh. You need your ears to reset. I think every now and then.
You get used to what you're hearing.
Yeah, and then you start to be like, no, that sounds good. I like that, you know. But then if you have that reference track, you go back to it and you be like, oh no, I hear it. Okay, wait a second, and then you go back, you know.
It's a good one. Hot tip.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing so well.
Oh wait, I didn't answer your question now. God, that was a good little yarn we had there, because he was like, "How do you decide which way
right.
to pan stuff?" We dodged that question by. But that was a great little winding road there. So good. But I won't get long-winded about it because there's so many things you could talk about with this. But I just gave myself permission to pan a week ago or something after listening to an interview I did with a producer friend of mine a while back, where he talked about this concept of LCR, which means that everything that you pan is either panned all the way left or all the way right, or it's down the center. So every track is either down the center or all the way left or all the way right. And I was like, all right, this is interesting, because I've been forcing myself to do mono for 2 years now. And I listened to a Holler and Hope mix last night, and I was like, oh, wow. Get in there and pan some of that stuff. But I was forcing myself to do it, by gosh. That's the way the Beatles did it. You know, like, I don't know, so many vintage records, and like they all made it sound really good. And I feel like just to follow the evolution of the craft is probably a logical way for a person to personal. It was like a revelation I had mid speaking, so it all came out as gibberish. But like the way the craft evolved through time is a good way to learn it as a person.
Yeah.
Like, what was the first recording? How they do it? How they make it sound good? You know. Then they got multi-tracks. Like the Beatles did everything on like 4 tracks. Listen to those early albums. They had 4. They were their first band to make like a multi-track recording.
Yeah.
And it was 4 tracks.
So before that, what did everybody just, they'd hit record and all the instruments?
It had to happen in the room.
And they had, yeah.
And you listen to those recordings and they're magic, you know. But it was like all about where the mic was placed, where every instrument existed in the space.
So it was more like a physical mixing type thing, but just
100%.
Yep.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah.
And so like
The, the
different,
jazz,
like the
big band
sousaphone would have
stuff.
to be back there.
Yeah.
Like, no, turn a little bit to the right, a little bit. All right, that's good. Stand just like that, and it sounds unbelievable.
That is crazy to think
Yeah.
about. Now we have a supercomputer that can do all that.
But it's still the most important one, or one of the most important things about how any track is ultimately going to sound is what did the instrument sound like in the room, or what did what was the sound going in the first place.
Right.
I mean, except for if it's in the box, they call it in the box now. All digital music is a whole art form. But if you are recording, musicians, instruments, those kinds of tracks, how it sounds going in is the most important moment to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
And I still know so little about it. I've been doing it for years, and just got to have like the experience. I was thinking today about because I've been trying to learn how to make my own records now for going on 10 years, and I still feel like I'm halfway there, maybe. But I have my limitations too, because I'm not naturally gifted like some people are. But I also realize that how huge it would be, like if I was a young engineer back in the day or now or whatever, the way it always works is you apprentice for years until eventually they let you fly the ship. And so all you're doing for years is emulating whoever your mentor is. And they are geniuses and they know how to make things sound good, and eventually they trust you to plug in the compressor or whatever, and you're setting it up for them. You're like their assistant, they're your mentor, and so you're just helping. So every day you're just in there like, oh, I know he likes the compressor at around 3.5, or whatever. Like that mentorship makes so much sense as an apprentice. I just can't imagine what it would have been like just like following Chris Davis around for the last 10 years and just emulating his every move. And then like when I finally get to fly the ship, I can take it a different path. Mm-hmm. But all the way up till then, you're not thinking creatively. You're just learning and absorbing.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to fly, then you can then all of a sudden you can unleash your own creativity. But it's like years of just sort of following in the shadow of someone that knows what the hell they're doing. And that's the way most crafts and everything have been taught all through the ages.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of family names are bakers or whatever. Like as a kid, you just followed your dad around the baker and did what he told you to do. And then one day you got to fly the plane and you made the best croissant in town. It's like, holy moly, yeah, but have you tasted Baker Jr.'s croissant yet?
Okay.
But I would give anything to have had a couple of years just under somebody, a really great producer's wing.
There was a guy in Norfolk that Sleeper recorded with him, and I'd done some other stuff with him. Brad Rosenberg at Clay Garden Studios. He's moved on from that line of work, and the studio doesn't exist anymore, but he was so good. But it's so true, like going back to your point of like how important it is, especially when you're recording instruments, how important the sound going in is. Like you want to capture a good sound. So from you know, like when we do upright bass tracks, like it's a process every time of like trying to find like,
And then you get lucky.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, you get a track and you're like, how the hell does it sound like that? Why is it so cool? How did we do that? You know, you go back and try to do it again. You're like, oh
It's
man,
just
where
not
were you
quite it.
standing?
Right.
Oh, but no, there was a coat hanging over there.
Yeah, and it's
That muffled that trash can's reflection or something.
but like Brad would, like, I remember like when Sleeper was about to record, like there would be drum day where Boo would go and set up drums
Drum
and they
day.
would just dial in the drums for
First-
like 8 hours.
Yep. First couple of days in a professional recording studio are terrible. It's like you say, 8 hours of a kick drum.
Because he's doing all, because Brad was a pro. and
Throwing
he's
pillows
doing
into
all
it.
kinds of scientific stuff on his end, using different mics, using this, trying this out. He would go through and mic the whole kit a certain way with certain mics. Spend an hour or more like dialing it in, and then go in there, take all the mics off and put different mics on and do it all over again, and then decide that he liked the other ones better and do it all over again.
Get the
Yep.
very best.
Take the
That's
time
dedication.
to
That's
get
great.
the sound from the, because not, you know, he had several sets of drum mics, right? And so he could, depending on what kind of drum set came in, like the maker and the type of heads they use, the size of the drums, the depth of the drums, the style of the drummer, and how hard he hits or soft, how, you know, if he's playing ghost note, like more jazzy stuff or rock or whatever, like, and he would really take the time just to get the drum sound. And then I'd go in there for 4 hours and just play bass notes, like not even playing the songs really, you know, just to get all the signals, you know. And then it was like, all right.
Ready to record.
But it was hours of that, just trying to make sure, like what we did over here, just plugging it in. Oh, my pickup doesn't, my battery's dead. Oh, I'll just flip the switch. We'll keep on going. Like that might, like we're a little rebellious around here.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of shit wouldn't fly in Hollywood.
Ignorance is bliss to a certain
That shit
extent.
wouldn't fly in L.A. In the studio
No,
in Nashville, they'd be
it's-
like, no, here's a 9 volt. Let's hear it.
Mhm.
But I kind of like the passive pickup too. I don't use it a lot. It's just old school. It's just normal bass sound, I think.
Mhm.
So do you guys
We could do the shaping in there.
like say you're recording that acoustic bass right there? Do you guys use like it's just a mic, like a standing mic, just pointed right at the strings, like?
I do have a pickup on it that I can plug into, but that doesn't sound great by itself. So then we'll put a mic in front of it.
Yeah, that
Sometimes
Big Boy's
two.
probably one of the first ones I would try.
Yeah, we've used that one.
Big old diaphragm on it. For
Pencil mic. I think we've had 3 sources at one time,
Mhm.
plugged in, and then 2 different mics. One like, because you can go on the hole, you know,
Which is dangerous, but
or like
can be
kind of
good.
more on the body of the bass,
Yeah.
and then you can get more on the strings of the bass, like the base of the neck, you know,
for clicks and stuff too.
and you get this whole range of sounds, of sound tone that you don't get from any one of those sources, you know. And then and then it's a process of finding the magic blend.
Yeah.
That's what goes into that. I remember this one picture. I got it saved somewhere where it's like, I can't. It's like a famous bass player, and he's got an upright, and there's probably 8 microphones around it. It's wild. There's like 2 overheads like coming in. There's like all these mics pointed from different directions, just all around the bass, and he's just standing there.
Who was that?
I can't remember. It was an old black and white picture I saw. I'll look for it, but that's exactly what's up sometimes. They'll go through the lengths. It's all about the signal and how it sounds when they hit record. You get a good signal, and then, you know, sometimes you don't have to do much to it, or at least you have a really good waveform.
One thing
to
that's
work
cool
with.
is that in my research, it seems like it's a pretty common practice to do bass direct into the board. Right?
Instead of through an amp.
It's like mic and an amp or something like that.
Right.
There's a lot.
Yeah, because guitarists will use their amps a lot because it's about the guitar and the pedals that they're running and the way all that stuff sounds through the amp that they've chosen to live with. You know what I mean? It's like it's all of it. And so a lot of times they'll want to put a mic in front of the amp.
Why not just plug can you not use the pedals with audio interface?
No, you could, but they like the
Sounds
sound of everything when it
It's like
comes
when-
out of the
when-
speaker of that amp.
Oh, so
And
it's like
that's
that
what they
amp is
want to
like
capture.
Okay.
Yeah, so then they put a microphone in front of that speaker of that amp. And then when they play, that's what they're picking up. But then that creates all kinds of, because like I was playing and you couldn't even hear, you could hear me through here, but y'all could talk, and it wouldn't get recorded because there's no microphone. I'm just plugged directly in. But if there was like a mic on the amp, you got to be quiet.
When there's a mic hot, one of these diaphragm mics hot in here, like at the end of a song, you got to hold your breath and not even move, because like
That would pick up.
that would pick up.
Yeah, they're
I
real
mean, and the
sensitive.
little creak of the guitar. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
These things are so hot.
yeah.
But like when Jay came by and played with me on the air, he, we had microphones and everything. It wasn't the first thing he did is he like grabbed that little amp on the top shelf over there and brought it over here and plugged his guitar into it. And it wasn't so he'd be heard. The microphones would have been fine to pick up his guitars because he needed that tone. He knew it would sound badass.
Mm-hmm.
So that was bleeding into that was his guitar tone, just sitting here jamming with me on the stream,
That's why Waveley takes the building amps as such an art form, because it's like actually sound design, but just through that.
Through those components,
So
yeah.
you can get like a specific tone out of building an amp, like
Absolutely.
Big time.
compared to another one.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't
100%.
really understand. Like I thought it was just a speaker you plugged in your.
That's a whole world. I mean,
It's the whole world.
and I didn't really know about that as much. I knew like Tim, like guitar players that I played with, they had their amp. Like Tim never really went through amps. He just had the Marshall half stack. And so the JCM, whatever, I can't remember, 800 or something, but you see guys like go through different amps, like there's different Fender amps and they all have a sound. They all have a sound that's unique,
This is
no matter what guitar you play through it.
all this stuff has been a weak point for me my entire career. I was what I really am is a weirdo songwriter. Like just that's all I cared about was writing songs.
The gear,
Just cranking out songs, learning how to write songs, and performing them and stuff like that. But I appreciate tone and everything deeply from all my beautiful friends who are all about tone. Like Brad's tone first.
yeah,
Like that's what they really care about. Musicians that just play their instruments, drummers, bass players, they're all about tone.
Right.
Like I'm a songwriter, so like it much to the chagrin of my bandmates,
Right.
I never got
together.
obsessed. I never cared.
right.
And it was very important. I just didn't care, which is super annoying. It's a youthful quality. Some of those perks of youth. But, like, I should have cared more. It would have been more fun. But at
would
the
have
same
learned
time,
it
it's a hard
earlier.
thing to fake, like,
You would have
you
learned
have to
about it
really
more.
care. And if you really care, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it really is a whole thing. I think a part of me knew, like, I had so much time I had to spend learning how to write songs the way I wanted to, that I didn't have time to understand tone.
Yeah.
That's a whole commitment, like that's what musicians spend a lot of their time doing. Like A, learning how to play, and B, what's my instruments, the tone of my instrument. How Andrew his every drum he fell in love with that drum,
Right.
the sound of
Because
it,
he perfected it. Like,
and he would find a drum and love the sound of it. That's
And that would
all
be
he cared
his
about.
first tom. Right.
right,
Like
right.
that, you know,
and he
like
would
first
assemble
tom,
it
second
piece
tom.
by piece, all
Right.
based on tone.
Yeah.
I never did. Every guitar I ever got, for 20 years, every guitar I ever played was given to me, just by fate. Just like traveling and weird stuff happens, and people just So that guitar was given to me. This guitar was given to me.
That guitar was given to you.
That guitar was given to me.
Your other electric guitar was given to you, the black and white
This
one.
might be the first guitar I ever bought, and that was my other guitar I won at Telluride Troubadour contest. This might be the first guitar I ever bought, and that was like 3 months ago.
That bass was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
So I never even walked into a guitar store and picked a guitar based on the tone of it,
was just
how
like
it sounded.
something
It was
It's
just
just like,
fate.
oh, I'll play this one now.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, I love it. It
I'll
sounds
play it tonight.
amazing.
True story. Like, you were playing that one, the black and white one, on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to
That
San
Dana
Francisco,
gave me, and then Fred Torfey gave me that one.
yeah, and said, no, I insist. And he started playing with it. And that's another thing. Well, we were talking about it, but the difference, even though those are both Stratocaster style guitars, the fact that this one's a Fender, right? Yeah. The fact that this one's a Fender, and the electronics, the wood, the craftsmanship of it is being different than that one, which is probably more quickly, maybe it's just not as higher quality in the components and things like that. It's instant sound difference,
Really?
big time.
100%.
You think there's one for every different guitar in the world? There's the different sound for each one.
Well, if you got another Strat like that, it would sound very similar. But that's kind of the thing with electric guitars. They have a sound. Each one of them has like a sound, and it's usually because the pickups will be different. That's the part with the magnets in them that pick up the string vibrations, those white things.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, those will be different. You could take that guitar and put different pickups in it, and it would sound different. But then, a different type of electric guitar with those same pickups would sound different than that one. It's funny how it works like that.
That's wild.
So people have like their axe, their chosen guitar, but you are like, hey, nah, this sounds great. Works. All the strings work. Let's go.
See, this is why I'm like, I just don't understand people who are like, oh yeah, music is cool. I don't know. I listen to it, like the radio listeners and stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You like what you
Right,
like, but it's
yeah.
like, how could you not be fascinated by how this is made?
How
Like,
it all
humans can
happens.
create these crazy sounds that somehow come together, and it comes down to things like, this guitar is good, sounds exactly like this, but I want a different sound, so I'm going to use a different guitar. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. How that works,
It's
there's
such a
much
slow
work that goes
process
into
of
it.
discovery too. For me, I know that one thing I noticed was like, when somebody finally pointed it out, but I saw this band playing, this Dire Straits cover, and the guy was playing some other kind of guitar than what Mark Knopfler plays, which I think is a Telecaster, maybe. I'm not sure what his
Right.
guitar is, but he's got like a sound. Mark Knopfler, this guitar player, and so this band was covering it, and it just didn't sound right. But they were great, and they nailed all the notes. But it was definitely good. The guitar just didn't sound the same. You know what I mean? Like, you can't emulate everything unless you have all the things sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can really geek out on that. I'm a pedal guy, but I'm not a guitar person. As far like the guitar that you have at your house that I left there, that's been my guitar since 1998.
That's crazy.
And all I've done is like I've kept up with it. I never had it refretted or anything, but I did put new pickups in it. But everything else is just original on it.
The black and white one?
No, the
Choose-
bass. The bass.
Oh, the bass.
Sorry. Yeah, I never really got into getting a lot of different basses, and then after so long, I got that one, the Sire.
Yeah, that one's nice.
I like it. I
That
like
one's
it,
dope.
but
Like how you stain the wood and all that. Like that's so cool.
but
I agree with whoever said that on screen.
and it's just like I mean, basses are like that too. They have their own sounds and stuff, but yeah, it is all really fascinating to those that it fascinates.
Yeah, I mean it's just cool. Like personally, I use more computer and just MIDI. Because like a lot of the music that I make more like hip hop beats and stuff like that. But then this one track that I've been working on today is kind of like, it kind of just, like I was starting with a specific vision in mind, and then it kind of just escaped that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, now I just have music, like I don't really know what to call it.
I love
It's
that.
cool, but it's like, I feel like it's like I started, you know who The Weeknd is?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know who The Weeknd is?
Yep.
Like one of those like After Hours type beat, like his After Hours album is really good. And I was trying to, because I found this one sample that I was using, and it was like phenomenal. Like it sounded exactly how I wanted it to. So I dragged that into Logic, and as I started adding the drums and all the different synths and stuff like that, I was just like, this is not that anymore. Like it's
Yeah,
turned into
you're like,
something
wow.
new. But it was like, it's cool because like now I'm like, all right, how can I go forward? And then it's like, I don't know, it's just like putting together a puzzle that you don't know what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It kind of pulls you along sometimes.
It's kind of turning into like trancey, like trance EDM a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like trance, like deep house type thing. I want to switch up the kick drum on it to see if I can make a house track out of it because I feel like that would be fun.
Isn't that funny how it just kind of pulls you along, and then you just
Yeah,
kind
if
of
you ever want
learning.
to share any of that stuff, I'm always making content for the stream that needs just instrumental music.
Oh yeah.
Just
Okay.
whatever it is, use it for a commercial or puppet scene or
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'm always making little ads and stuff like that.
Yep.
That'd be really fun. Yeah. Nah, it's just I gotta get in the habit of just like doing it every single day, no matter what. At least 30 minutes a day, every single day. Because sometimes it's just like, and a lot of times I'll sit down and I'll just like, if it doesn't sound how I want it to sound, I'll get like unmotivated. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not changing anything. So I'll stop what I'm working on, start something new, or I'll just be like, nah, like it's not.
Right.
I don't got it in me today.
Do you know how to? Do you make alternatives? Do you ever do that? Come look at this real quick. I do that under file project alternatives. If ever I'm gonna like do a radical new idea, I'll hit new alternative, and these are all old versions of the same project. So instead of creating save as's, which like puts a bunch of different files on your computer, you can just create a new alternative. So let's say bass and save. And now I can just like go crazy, and then if I'm like, oh, I ruined the whole thing, I can go back to the previous
Well,
version.
All right, I'm writing that down too. So wait,
Yeah.
where is
Hey.
it? Functions or?
File.
Oh, thank you.
File new alternative. Project alternatives.
Oh gosh, the LA engineer just showed up with a 9-volt.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Grayson's here.
I saw. Hey,
Hello,
Grace.
how's it going? I'm doing
Nice
good.
to see
You
you.
guys are so festive with the pajamas. I love the.
She brought those down, and she was like, "These are too psychedelic for my display." So
Perfect for the
she
basement.
She planted them down here, and they've been rocking ever since.
What do you think, Percy? Where
I was
you
gonna
don't
tell
have
you
a sweater
when
on?
Percy was barking that he doesn't realize that you're over 18 and you're allowed in the basement.
Oh. Yeah, he's like, wait.
He's legit, Percy.
Oh, so he was just asking for your ID that whole time.
Yeah.
No, he's happy. We do need to get a little bowl of treats down here for visitors to give Percy.
Oh, that's a good one. Percy's like, yep, that sounds
He'll be
real
hoping
good.
somebody comes over.
Right. Yeah.
How's life in the valley?
Oh. I got you your 2 hearts with Marnie, but you can't. You just recorded. I didn't do it because it's your character.
Hippy
Play
Paps.
my character.
Oh, really?
For whatever reason.
We're all Stardew Valley now.
What is it?
Stardew Valley.
But you have to just record it so I can see what happens when you.
Okay, when I get the shorts.
Okay.
Pretty exciting. Maybe I'll wait.
And then
I'll wait and do it with you.
there's
I
a
can play.
text thread with my dad. Just check on that before
Okay.
y'all are done.
Sweet.
All right, I'm headed upstairs.
Love you.
Love you too.
Good night.
It was good seeing you back up there.
Yeah.
Shall we listen?
Yes.
Were we talking about something? We figured it all out.
Talking about.
Tone, baby.
Yeah, let's hear that tone.
Tone.
You're
Check
talking
this
about
tone out.
alternatives. You got the alternative note taken, right?
We're good.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying. But you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying. Oh, that it goes.
Oh yeah. What else is happening there then?
It's without saying.
What's that? Oh, you hear it?
But you can't
Like the beer.
back down, baby. Oh, that it goes without saying. But you can't go. Oh, that it goes without saying.
Oh, it's not you?
But you can't go back down.
Oh, maybe it is. I was looking at the other one. Yeah, it is.
Is that just like your fingers slide
Yeah.
straight?
Without saying. But you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call
Take it
it
from another part of the song that does the same thing.
so
If he does the same thing twice, you can copy and paste the right version.
Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist
Switch
pounding
camera angles from
above
here with my phone.
as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying,
Ah, what?
but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing.
Ah, why?
Yeah, that one note was weird. Yes. But it's because it's unexpectedly a D. It's like A, G, D. But it seems like it would be like a.
Yeah, it's ending in D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what did
Which
I...
is a little weird. I don't even trust it because you want to go F. You're probably going F,
I'm doing this little walkie down thing.
which is great. But, yep, just that one note.
Oh, yeah, okay. The third string's missing.
Perfect.
There's like all these guitars right next to me. I go way over there to get the one that's missing the one string I need. So it's like, wait,
Do it on an acoustic.
well, this one's got a capo, so it's all
Those stands
customized.
suck.
It's all customized.
I thought, how bad? I think I'm gonna have to modify them. They're like $7 or something.
These?
Yeah, I
Little
got
super
2 of them
glue or
'cause they were so
something?
cheap. I was like, how could it not be good? But I need to put some felt on them or something so they grab.
That feels like it sounds right, doesn't it? But maybe that's not what I'm doing right there, but I think that's what I end up doing.
Play the track.
It's like,
Right.
right? Must not be doing that right there then.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it's that. I'm going to the F, like you said.
And it's intuitive that it would be an F. That straight A minor, G, F walk down thing.
All right. I should just play it again.
And I'm actually throwing an F sharp. I'm focusing on like the F sharp and the D.
Yeah, when I'm doing that walk down, it's to the D, basically. And then I'm just kind of going on down to the C to get back to the A again in kind of a neat walky way.
It's a good part.
Cool, cool. I'll just play it. I'm just going to play it a couple more times and we might have it there. It might be in an earlier take already, but
Right.
I might. Let's just see what happens.
You in there?
Oh yeah. Hang on a second. I just
right.
want to make sure I'm. Might have been a little sharp. All right, I'm ready.
Here you go.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys.
Let's try that again.
Been a minute since I marched through my.
All right. Can you turn the bass down just a little?
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon.
Ah,
Ran with the bull.
Punch you?
yeah.
Been a minute since I last howled at the moon. Ran with the bulls. Slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild. Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing.
Ah.
It's
Okay.
fun.
Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down.
Oh my
boy.
goodness. My.
Running wild. Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. So we'll put away our toys.
Okay, that might have been it.
That was fun.
There was something a little earlier, maybe the first chorus. Anyway, maybe we'll,
Walk down thing.
what's that?
You got the walk down thing, and then also like right after that, I don't know if it was like a celebratory, like I did it, but like you did something else that was cool. I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Do another little sparkle on there. Let's hear what happened.
One thing I like to do, Grayson, is
You still got that California hospitality around here?
oh yeah,
Check this out. You know, just for the studio.
Hey, it's nice.
Pre-ground.
So when I have all these take folders,
Oh,
Hey.
so you could piece it together.
oh yeah, that's how you comp. I could be like the first verse of that take, that note right there, you know.
Okay. Wow, that's really cool.
But-
I did not know you could do that.
But yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
That's
Take folders.
crazy.
We
Yeah,
tried
no,
to
I
get
mean,
there
no,
that day.
I
Oh.
remember. I know about the. We did get there that day. I just didn't know that you could do that, like, and piece together different parts. You know?
Yeah, I don't think we got that far because something happened and we got distracted
Yeah.
and something wasn't working. We almost got to that point.
You have Logic on your computer?
Yeah, I went ahead and installed it.
Bass is tough because you get those clicks.
Why? Oh, just from my fingers?
No,
So what do you do
the
about
comp.
the clicks? 'Cause that
you-
is notorious.
You can
with
kind of
me.
find a sweet
You just
spot.
have to find this. Keep looking for a sweet spot.
Yep. Like zoom way in.
Because that happens when I'm chopping up samples. It'll happen.
Yeah.
So like when because I'll map, this. I'll
There
set
we
up
go.
the time markers.
See, I can live with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still a little one,
Little one.
But like I'll set up the time markers on the sample. Say it's like a 70s soul sample.
Yep.
And I'll set it up on every whatever, depending on what it is, the kick or the snare. And then when I'm switching it between those on the MIDI, like I'll have to really zoom super far into the sound wave, like of the actual sample, like
Yep.
in the quick sampler, to like get it to line up exactly where it won't click.
So you got to
And
like trim it some.
yeah, like just move it like a half an inch or like maybe sometime. Like one time I gave up because like I could not get it to not click, and I don't know, like no matter where I moved it.
I
within
wonder
the
what that
sound wave.
is.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it was, but it was like, I don't know. I'm not sure what it was, but
And when you play the sample by itself, you don't notice that it's doing it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
no, it doesn't do it on the sample. Though. That's
Right.
the thing. It's just like when you chop it up and put it in the quick sampler.
Every
might
time
be,
it
like,
restarts
the
or
way it's
whatever.
rendered or something like that, maybe I could do it like loaded in a different way or something like that.
But then after I have a comp, what I like to do is option drag to copy. If you hold option and drag anything, it copies.
Oh, okay.
And so like out here is just sort of like my extra canvas where I put parts I might use later, but they're not in the project anymore. And then I flatten this guy. Flatten and merge.
And what does that do?
The main thing it does is it makes it way easier to copy and paste. Like if we love this verse and we don't like this verse, but it's the same verse, I can just option drag.
Paste it over to that.
I would have to cut out what's underneath it because now it's just overlapping it. But yeah, that's the basic idea. It's a lot easier to fly shit around, cut and drag. When you have it in folders like this, cutting it here is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So flatten and merge, Grayson. You see, it took away that arrow.
Yeah.
So now
It's just
file.
one
Everything
file.
that we
So it's the take
selected that
folder
we
over there.
liked. Yeah. So it made that little comp based on those little sections from
Yeah.
each
But
take
there's
that we
there's
liked.
things a flatten file can do that a take folder can't. Like if you have two regions here, and I overlap it, it creates this crossfade, so you don't hear the. So like if I wanted these, say that was a bad note, and that was the same note but good. I copy that note and put it over here and drag a little each way to crossfade it so you don't get that click.
So it just blends right in. Which is
But
something you
the,
might try with your sample.
Take folders can't do that.
Right. So you have
They
to
would just be like,
flatten
what are you trying to get me to do?
Yeah.
So if you flatten it, you can manipulate it a lot more freely. But that, I might be getting ahead. Don't want to cram too many ideas in your head. You won't remember a single one of them.
option drag.
Yeah, that's a good one. Use that all the time.
Alright with that.
Been a minute minutes since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a
When we
bike.
cut you down, you immediately played
Not if you
stronger.
want to
know.
get far.
Funny.
I was reserved
Way
because
more
it
of
was too
immediately
hot.
got bigger. I was like,
It was
Tried
too
singing
hot.
the one that
So I
got
was
you
like
out of
backing
the
off.
club.
I realized that. That's when I said, "Can you
But I
turn it down a little bit?"
forgot
And then I-
good call.
Even how it
I'm
goes.
gonna grab some tea. Need
I
anything?
know that it goes without saying. But you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down.
Ah, right there.
I remember my fist holding the sign, putting my feet down.
That I need to punch in.
All right.
I remember my fist pounding a book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe.
Is that too much?
Ran with the bulls,
Right here.
slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild,
Not terrible.
always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. So we'll put away our toys.
Pretty badass.
You like the last note? I'm sliding up to an
Yeah, I
E
didn't
right
mind.
there.
Well, that was-
No,
yeah.
it's
To
It's
a what?
to an E,
Mhm.
which is in there somewhere. Someone else is doing it. Something else is doing that too.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar.
So
It's not like riding a bike,
around bar
not if you want to get far.
18 or so, I need to fix
Tried
that
singing the one that got you out of your clothes,
note.
but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down.
Right there. 22 and 3.
Yeah.
You want to play it, Gray?
Yeah. would if I could.
Some of those haven't been touched in a minute. Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember
Oh,
The-
I can't.
That was the
remember.
computer stuttering there.
Oh.
It's like, you want me to do what? Right now? I'll just undo that. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
I don't know
hold
where
on.
to stop or start really, but I'll figure.
Hold
it out.
on. Hold on. I should just delete this.
The comp.
Yep.
So now we're
Oh,
gonna go.
shit.
So now we're gonna go back to the take
Oh,
forward.
what did I just do?
Uh-oh.
He just deleted the whole project then.
Oh my goodness. Start over. Like a pantry. Yeah, poke your head back there. It's cool. There's all kinds of hidden storage in this place.
All right. I think we're good.
my feet down.
Oh, that was it right there.
So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town.
Oh, no, we
I
were.
think that was it, right?
No, that was the chorus before it. It's in the verses.
Oh, okay.
Our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign,
Wait, is this the first verse?
putting my feet down.
That
This is the
was it.
second
It was-
verse.
It was just coming up when
Oh.
you stopped. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without.
So nice.
Am I playing at the same velocity?
Let's see.
Did it work?
Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. Been a minute since I marched through my
I
town,
rushed that a little bit, but we can use the first one.
holding. Been a minute.
I rushed that little dut.
What's that?
That dum bum bum. That first bump
Should I
bum.
bring you in later?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are we? Is it a take folder situation?
Mm-hmm.
Can we go to just the one that I'm copying
How about this?
over?
My town, holding the sign.
See, like vocals and a lot of instruments are way easier to comp than others.
Yeah.
Bass is hard because there's never a dull moment. It's always making a sound. Whereas a vocal, there's between almost every word, there's a break. So the comps are easy. Rhythm guitar, like a lot of instruments don't have that constant sound going on.
Yeah, like
We can worry about that later.
okay. Bouncing. No.
Bouncing. Let's hear in contact. We got the fix we're looking for, right?
Right.
Put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys.
Man, maybe that guitar lead should come up some.
Been a minute.
What's that?
The guitar lead's cool. Ba-do-da-do-da-do-da,
You like it?
do-da-do-da. It's cool. I wonder if you should like turn on that tube screamer and do another pass.
Over top of it?
Dig into it or something. I don't know.
Doing the same thing?
Maybe. The tube screamer is that little green pedal down there, Grayson.
Twist my arm for some tube screamer.
Ever since I last howled at the
It's
moon,
like a distortion pedal.
ran with the bull.
So it sounds very.
Playing the same thing or like a harmony or in the middle or something.
Gosh, I don't know, because there's already a harmony in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The higher one would be the melody, right? Na-na-na. Wait, no. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a cool
Been a
part.
minute since I last howled at the
It's
moon,
a little buried, you know?
ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe in my soul's a child.
Speakers are good.
Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes
it does what it does,
without
but
saying, but you can't go back down, boy. slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild. Always believe in my soul's a child.
What is that?
I
What is that thing?
Sibilance.
What is that?
Cutting down all that high,
Oh.
super high frequency.
That's what that doodad
Sibilance.
is?
So if you watch it on the S's, you'll see where it's like carving it out.
Oh.
Anything that's up in
And that's
there.
on the vocal?
Been a minute since I last howled at the moon. Ran with the bulls, slow danced with you.
Yeah, it does. That does good.
In my heart still I'm running wild.
Turn it off for a second.
Always believe.
Turn it off for a second.
My soul.
Just so you can hear the difference of what he just did
So
there.
like that.
Now listen
S's,
to the S's without it.
S is
Been a
on the
minute
Is it without it?
S is on the
since
vocal.
I last howled at the moon.
I know there's a difference already.
Ran with the bulls, slow danced with you.
Like that.
In my heart still I'm running wild.
It's just so
Always
apparent.
believe in my soul's a child.
All those. If
So
you're
the
in
soul's a
headphones,
child, yeah.
it'll
That's
be
crazy that they have an effect or like a plug-in just for that.
just for that.
That's great. What's that
Well,
called?
back in the day, you know, they would be like for the final mix, someone would be there on the EQ right at that register, like manually doing it on all the S's or
Yeah.
problematic S, like as they're bouncing it from one tape to another tape, someone's in there going right on the S's, turning down that frequency.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's that plug-in called?
Sibilance. It's called de-essing.
Oh,
So
okay.
Logic probably has a de-esser built in too. So.
Been a minute since I last howled at the moon. Ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild.
Pretty cool.
Always believe.
But you have to be careful too, because you start cutting away frequencies. There might be qualities that you liked in that range. Like if I do this too much, it'll like neuter it in a way that's not cool. Won't have that. So you gotta find like the sweet spot. Because if I cut, there's something I like about too when I cut it off.
Ran with the bull.
It's like closer to you, because this is like cutting stuff out of it. So you want to cut just the right amount out with anything you do with EQs and stuff.
That's good.
Slow danced with you.
She takes a while to warm up too.
In my heart still I'm running wild. Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy.
Different.
You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Put away our toys.
Might have to get closer and ask him now. Ask him now.
So you can take effects and drag them over the mixer track and just it'll copy and paste every single one.
Option drag
Option drag again for everything.
all over the place.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
On-
That's really
I
cool.
didn't know that about the effects.
Does it
That's
save
cool.
the preset on the effect as well? So like if I had chroma reverb loaded, it would save that same exact.
It would
EQ
copy all
or reverb.
all
yeah.
the changes you've made and everything.
So apply that same reverb to.
Apply the same.
It's like a little workaround to having a preset or something.
Mm-hmm.
You find a setting you like and you want to put it on the other track, then boom.
Do you
That's
use
cool.
sends at all yet?
What is it?
Ascend.
What is that?
Might have to say that for your next visit.
What is it? Is it like?
It's just a way of. It's like basically. Down here, I have a channel that is reverb. It's a particular reverb. And then instead of putting that reverb on tracks, I send tracks to the reverb.
Oh. Okay.
But there's a lot of good reasons for doing that. So like this, like unless I'm using it for a special effect, all of these that have like the vocal that has, how do I say it? Like this vocal here, if I solo it.
Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words,
But if I mute the reverb,
even how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know.
so my vocal track is still clean. So I got a clean vocal in there, but I'm sending it to the reverb. And then, so the reverb you're hearing is its own track. But if I put that reverb right on the vocal, that clean vocal doesn't exist anymore. It's a reverb vocal now.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that vocal then has that reverb on it. And so, and if I start doing that now I put the guitar and I put reverb on the guitar because you want some reverb on the guitar, whatever. Like now it has reverb on it. And in fact, the vocal and the guitar now have two different reverbs on it,
Both
which is
going at the same time.
both going at the same time. And there's no clean guitar anymore. There's no clean vocal. Whereas if I create one reverb and send the guitar and the vocal to that reverb, both the guitar and the vocal are clean still. So you have that nice clarity. And they're being sent to the same reverb, which is great because they're in the same space as opposed to, because all reverb really is doing is simulating a space, like a church or a shower.
Yeah.
Like that's why you sound good in the shower, that tile.
Yeah.
So all reverb does is creates the illusion of space.
By elongating the.
So that's why you see
note.
it says big room, small room.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
literally talking about like what kind of room does it sound like you're in.
Yeah.
So if you send the guitar and the vocal to the same reverb, you're putting them in the same room. So they're in the same space. And that's what you want.
How do you create a reverb track?
You just so if you look on the mixing board, see this says sends.
Yeah.
So if I go to a track and if this is just a completely empty track and I went to bus and went to an empty one, it would immediately create a new track over here.
What are the buses? Because I usually just choose like bus 1 or bus 2. Like I didn't. What's like the?
It really doesn't matter. Just I put that on 10, so now that's always going to be on 10. So it just creates a track down here. You see how it says aux 7? Mm-hmm. And there's the track. So if I said big verb, I'm going to put a big reverb there. Then I put the plug-in on this track.
The
right?
reverb plug-in on that one.
Right.
And send the other track to that.
And then, then I go to, now you can see it's updated in here. Bus 10, big verb. So that's where that's pointed.
Okay.
And then this button is how much of that track to send to the reverb.
Oh. So if you wanted just a little bit of reverb on it, then you would only send like, just turn that dial up a tiny little bit. But if you wanted all the reverb on it.
Right.
Okay.
Let me see if
So are the buses, are those tracks themselves, like are they like the mixer track themselves? Like is that creating a new track when you choose a new mixer track? Or
Wait,
like when you
all right,
choose
say again.
So like when you hit B10, would that create, is that like the 10th, it creates like the 10th mixer track? Or is that something else?
It didn't actually, that's actually just how it keeps track of it. So nothing really exists till you create it.
So you have to make a track, like, would it be a software instrument, or like if I click the plus right there to make a new mixer track, what would I select?
Well, all the tracks have the same sends. So whatever track you create, you'll start out with empty sends with nothing.
Right.
And it's not like channels exist already. They exist the minute you, like I could go down here to 32 if I wanted to. It's just yeah, it just created a new track.
Okay, I gotcha.
Just immediately. And so that's my send track.
All right, that's cool. And then you on that track.
So if you look at it right now, I've created 2 send channels. And sometimes prefab software or plugins, synthesizers will have send tracks that are part of their pre-packaged thing. So you put like a Mellotron track or something. Like some of these, see when I click in here, some of these I didn't make.
Yeah.
Some of them just when you add a software instrument, it'll create a couple of sends because that's how that sound is made. So I'm just looking for an empty one over here when I go to make one. Just make sure I grab one that's not been used.
Yeah.
But this one, like see on the vocal, so I got 2 tracks that I'm pretty much using, which is 1, and if you click over here, it pops up over here. So there's that verb, but it looks like it's muted. So maybe I'm not using that. I have an echo that I'm sending my delay. Oh wait, here's my vocal new. Wow, I have the reverb muted at the. Did I do that just in this conversation?
maybe.
Or has it been like that the whole time?
Uh-oh.
That it goes without saying.
I did it just in this conversation.
Just to show. Yeah, I remember you did.
So here's my send. 1 is to this reverb, and 2 is to a delay. And so you can hear.
But you can't go back down, boy.
I can send a lot of it.
You know why they call it playing.
Or none. Yeah.
So we'll put away our toy.
But the cool thing is that if I had put that reverb directly on the track, that clean vocal wouldn't exist anymore.
Right.
And you'd have to go into the plugin of the reverb itself and change the mix parameter. But you'd have to do that for all of them. So if you put reverb on each individual track, you'd have to go, and you're like, oh, there's too much reverb in general, you'd have to go into each track and cut down the mix or whatever. Whereas with this, I could just I'm sending everything 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all to the same reverb send. And then I can bring up the overall reverb on everything up or down just by cutting that fader up and down. Does that make sense?
That's revolutionary.
It's a lot to think about. But
No, I get it, but it's just like I never even thought of that. That's crazy. I didn't know it could do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what sends are all about.
I'm gonna write that down too.
But it's fun just to create one cool reverb and send everything to it. And then, like I say, you're putting everything in the same room. It's just, it'll start to make everything more cohesive and sound like they're all together. There's a mic on everything in here.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words. even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart, still I'm running wild.
It works great.
Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying.
Oops. I just accidentally recorded over your bass a little bit.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Take that bass part. I don't want to play in there. You want piano on it?
Yeah, you want to try?
I guess.
See what happens.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believing my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. So we'll put away our toys.
Throw a bunch of reverb and delay on it.
A lot of great ideas.
Throw away in the background, and maybe it'll be something cool. There were a couple moments in there that
I know there was
might be useful.
I know what Brian would do if he was here. He'd grab
He'd
a
be
couple
like,
of those nice moments,
yeah.
slap some reverb, and put them just at the right place.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about him when I was halfway through that. I was like, well, Brian would find something.
Yeah, he would. I even heard one. I was like, oh, I know what Brian would do with that.
Brian's really got a good ear as an engineer,
Producer.
all this stuff, producer. He's
Been a minute since I
knows
picked
how
up
to,
my
like-
old guitar.
It's funny. He
Sound
just
like
knows how to
riding
like
a
get a certain sound. He's
Not
got a
if you
very.
wanna get far.
He's like a Fender. He's got a very distinct sound.
Tried singing the one that
It's
got
cool.
you out
Like
of
he
your
knows
clothes.
how to produce a certain type of
But I've
sound.
forgotten the
It's
words,
cool. Yeah, but he can do it
even how it goes.
like with other people. You know.
Well, I know that it goes without saying,
Yeah.
but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing.
Yeah, I'm trying to come over here every Wednesday. It's kind of been
Put
the
away
hope, but
our
you know, there've been
toys.
holidays and different things.
Been a
Yeah.
minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign,
Next week.
putting my feet down.
Doing this next week. Same
Oh,
day?
yeah, Thumpday.
All right, let's do it.
It's up to that dude.
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's do it. I'm really hungry though, so I think.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. So
Oh no.
I know I've been missing my meals, but I think I gotta get out of here.
Did you work today?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I called. Everybody was at the house way too late last night, so
Oh,
'cause
right on.
all my friends came over and we were just up all night.
Tuesday night, man. You know.
Tuesday nights tonight.
He did a show at the Visualite last night
Oh yeah.
with the movie about Leonard Cohen.
Oh yeah.
Songwriter
How'd
that-
go?
It was fun.
Yeah.
And it turns out the name of the film was Hallelujah, and it was all about the impact of that song, Hallelujah. It was basically the history of that song and what it became. Like, he wrote the song, performed the song. It had some legs, but then a few other people came along later and did the song and made it worldwide.
Yeah, like me at Susu's funeral.
He sang it at his aunt's funeral,
No, yeah.
great aunt's funeral.
Wow.
He was feeling very inspired, and he sang it all by himself, just without music.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I still don't know why I did that.
you were just moved by the Spirit, man. It was just flowing.
Just running well.
It was cool. It was a beautiful moment. We all were
was,
very
yeah.
touched by it. Like, it was really powerful. I mean, how old were you? Maybe 9,
Oh really? I was that young?
10, 11, 9 to 11. Were we living
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and went back?
Yeah.
Probably 11,
Yeah.
I would guess.
I was saying like 11 or 12. Yeah. That's crazy.
I know. But it was a really cool film
Yeah.
about
It really
all
was.
of it. Yeah. I was just surprised. I don't want to hold you up, so you don't have to stay for this part.
Great to see you, Grace.
Yeah,
Hey,
good.
to see
I'm
you
glad
too,
you
man. I'm
came
gonna let
through
you know
and
the wiggle boom now.
Mhm.
So already knows. See the wiggle. And then
Boom. Oh, got to boom.
gotta
Wait, wait.
explode. yeah.
Wiggle. Boom. Wiggle.
wiggle.
Boom.
Wiggle boom.
All right. I'll see y'all.
Wiggle
Good seeing
boom.
you guys. Thank you so much for having me over. I really did
wonderful.
learn a lot just from like the little bit of time I was
Good.
here. So I'm looking forward to next week.
I love it.
Yeah, sweet.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, man. Love you, kid.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks for having him.
Yeah, it was
Definitely. I thought it was. I didn't realize that Leonard Cohen was the draw that he was when he came back for that, like the farewell tour stuff. You know, like the last stuff that he did. But playing all those festivals, I mean, he was just on a
He was
world
a legend. by
giant.
then,
Right. And that particular song had risen to heights
yeah. It's true.
that probably propelled his audience growth,
Mm-hmm.
just from that song getting the exposure that it did
Yeah.
through movies and other artists.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
It really is. And gosh.
Even beyond like how mega, he would have been a mega star without that too. But that Hallelujah cred is
Yeah.
on another level.
I guess that's what I was
It's so
trying to.
perfect, really. He deserved all that, and what a perfect song for that to have been the case with.
Yeah.
Wasn't like some like pop novelty hit or something that had universal
Yeah.
acclaim that was unlike Cohen. But he would have been a megastar legend just with like his 60s, 70s work and how much of a part of all that he was. But then with his rebirth with the everybody knows Natural Born Killers dude. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
that dies a little- Like he was.
And when they say repent.
yeah, I mean he had exactly.
Right.
He had a great resurgence that wasn't Hallelujah based. Whatever. That would have just
I wonder what they meant.
yeah. But then you add the
That was when
Hallelujah
I found
phenomenon to it. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about Leonard Cohen until that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know Hallelujah even still after that for several years until I heard Jeff Buckley's version. That was my.
Jeff Buckley was my first version too.
And then it was years after that that I found out that
Which
it
I
was.
told that story during my set, the short version, just how my first version was Jeff Buckley too. Would have set the movie up good when I got to that part. Because even as such a big Leonard Cohen fan. My first Hallelujah was Jeff Buckley. Like, that's a Leonard Cohen song. What?
Well, and I guess
'Cause I just listened to his old stuff.
well, and you might not have come across it because that record wasn't really widely distributed.
Exactly.
So maybe you never even heard it in whatever you had access to,
Yep.
which is really interesting. It's like the little song that could. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes.
I still never answered the question of how you decide which to pan. I was like, I wanted to at least say you never pan the bass, because it's just such it's such a fundamental way to think about it. Like why you wouldn't pan the bass. You can't pan the bass. You don't want to pan the kick drum. He would have liked to have heard that. Don't pan the kick, don't pan the bass.
Unless you're really trying to get freaky.
Don't pan the vocal. Yeah, unless you're...
If you do...
You're trying to get freaky.
Go all the way with it.
Right.
Right. You better do something with it.
The pig commits.
But I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing.
I just today put Snap Camera on this computer.
Put away
Did
For the
what?
first time since I started this, I got my Snap Cam back.
Snap cam?
Yeah, the way that I put all the crazy effects.
Oh, yeah.
I just hadn't put it on the Windows yet. I hadn't got my workflow around it.
That's fun.
But it's so fun to have it back. I was a little.
What
kid
is
in
it
here.
doing right now? That's super weird.
Tiles.
Oh, I see it. I see what it is now. Whoa. I like how they're delayed.
I know, right? We're back, baby. It's a lot more janky doing it on this one than I was trying to figure out a way to do it from the Mac, but that was even worse. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya?
Do ya, donkey?
toys. Since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing. So we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I last out at the moon. Ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild. Always believe in my soul's a child. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go
Well, you can kill that piano.
Yeah, there's so many nice little indications that it could be nice.
Yeah, I know. But it's scratch track there.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are some little, it does kind of make you wonder. It doesn't need it though.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs piano.
What's it need?
It's a good piano song though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it needs anything, man. I liked what I heard. I was just like, yeah, I could take a pass at the bass on that, but I wouldn't. Like, it sounds great.
How's the new bass sounding to you?
Good. I think it worked out good.
Should we bounce it?
Might be bounceable.
All right, bouncing. Bouncing.
Did you turn your de-esser back on?
I think so.
Okay.
It's fun having a young buck asking questions. Good for the stream. The educational amount.
You do a good job about explaining.
I get so excited that I over-explain and go down rabbit holes that make me forget what I was explaining
Yeah,
in
next
the
thing
first
we're
place.
talking about reference tracks. And
Yeah, to a certain extent, songwriting chops, stuff like that, can translate through experience to teaching, because a lot of writing is just coming up with a new way of saying something, or a fresh perspective on an idea or something.
mm-hmm.
Trying to translate ideas into simple phrases, complex ideas sometimes. So it's fun trying to come up with analogies or whatever, to succinct ways of describing things that aren't confusing but illuminating in some way.
I was just excited for him to see, like, because I think he does get into, like, some. I need to get over there and check his system, his setup out again, because I don't think some things are working the way that they should. So he gets a little frustrated when he can't do something. When something's not working and he can't do it,
Yeah, that can be really debilitating.
But I wanted him to see, like, just kind of you working, on it, and us thinking about different aspects of, like, everything we looked at with the track tonight was cool, and I think it was, like, good for him to see in action the DAW and you clicking around and you
100%. Yeah. I was just thinking about that yesterday or earlier today or sometime. I was like so jealous when it just hit me. It was like, oh, like most people, definitely in professionals, they all started out as apprentices for some master. And they spent the first 5 years probably not learning through experimentation how stuff works.
Right.
At all. They didn't do that at all. Like, it was all like watching him work, doing what he told you to do or whatever, seeing how they achieved what they achieved, and then emulating that, and then you start experimenting.
Yeah.
Just that, because I can imagine how, on just the simplest level, what you would learn just by following in the shadow of someone working on that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I
in a real
know.
studio, bringing people in, watching how they turn every knob. It just, with anything, with any craft. If I wanted to learn how to bake bread, go get under Bill Willett's tutelage and just assist him for a year.
Yeah.
I'd come out the other side. It's so hard when you don't have that guidance and structure too, when you just have the whole world of books or online searches or
Yeah.
something like that. It's just like, all right, how do I record music? It's like, and you're getting it's so distilled when you have a single mentor that like you probably will hope to exceed or whatever, but you have the limits of like, it's not like 50 different people on YouTube telling you 50 different things. It's
Right.
like, how does Hank get his sound? How does Hank do it? And then you can just run with that. It's so specific. I know just how inspiring, how much I learned watching Brian produce me, not even being
Yeah.
his mentor or whatever, but I was basically. And just being in his presence working had such a profound effect. I could
Yeah, I remember when you guys were heavy on that session, you said that a lot. You're like, man, I am just learning. I'm not doing a thing, but I'm learning so much.
yeah, so true. All right, the player's updated. Well, let's take it for a spin in Nathan's land here.
Been a minute since I picked up my old guitar. It's not like riding a bike, not if you want to get far. Tried singing the one that got you out of your clothes, but I've forgotten the words, even how it goes. Well, I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll put away our toys. Been a minute since I marched through my town, holding the sign, putting my feet down. I remember my fist pounding the book as I stood tall, as my voice shook. I know that it goes without saying, but you can't go back down, boy. You know why they call it playing, so we'll
Love that part.
put away our toys. Been a minute since I last howled at the moon, ran with the bulls, slow danced with you. In my heart still I'm running wild, always believe in my soul's a child. How many days have I waved off the miracle to claim I have empirical proof that we are blind? How many ways do I hide from beauty as if it's my duty to stay left behind? Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love.
More wondering how that was affecting the sound in the video. The chair there.
How many times have I laid awake wandering when my pirate plundering might come for me? How many crimes have I committed sleeping, dreaming there's no keeping secrets from the sea? Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love.
Maybe down on the gong some. A little bit.
For the last little while I've been gathering up my broken mirror, taping it back together to look me in the eye, to tell me that I love me and believe me, 'cause it's true, there's too much to do, a new day is now. Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. Light to remind me of love.
Bass still isn't perfect on that, but it's getting there.
Yeah, man, it's come a long way. Oh, about that song. There is, when I listen to it in the van, I notice it because it rattles the speaker. But it's the guitar, it's the ukulele track. And it's like a low mid frequency
On the last one,
on the reminder,
I don't think there is a ukulele on it.
or I mean the
Guitar.
guitar. There's it's like a low mid that needs to, I don't know, like it's hot.
How was the bass sitting in Back Down Boy? Could it be louder?
No,
No.
no. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Might be a little high, but I don't know. I'd have to sit with it for a few times and use a reference track, of course.
Always.
Always.
A couple
Whenever
of
I
times that
remember.
I've tried to go down the reference track route. I'll go through like my entire catalog of music.
And you're like-
None of that stuff sounds like this track I'm working on.
Yeah, it's one of those where, you know, it could be close, you know, or even if it's just like, you're right, it is hard to find a reference track sometimes, to, you know, to be like, am I listening to the right thing? Because then you start, if you question in your reference track, then you're looking at a setback. Then pass.
How many days have I waved off the miracle to claim I have empirical proof that we're blind? How many ways do I hide from beauty as if it's my duty to stay left behind? Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. How many times have I laid awake wandering when my power plundering might come for me? How many crimes have I committed sleeping, dreaming there's no keeping secrets from the sea? Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest for the last little while I've been gathering up my broken mirror, keeping it back together to look me in the eye, to tell me that I love me and believe me, 'cause it's true, there's too much to do a new day's night. Rides in on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. Light to remind me of love. Gives my sleeve.
I like that synth pad at the end that you got. Did you bring that up or something? It just seems.
Oh, the fun time?
Oh, is that the fun time? That last sound there, right at the very end. Is
And me,
This thing?
light to remind me of love.
And that's a different sense.
Yeah, the other thing's like a MIDI synth pad.
And me, love.
That's all the fun time in the whole song. All the gongs.
Light to remind me of love. Light to,
Is that better?
Yeah, but there was another little. Do it again.
to remind me of love.
Ear symbol?
Yeah, just take that one out. It's late and it doesn't even sound great. The gong is cooler, softer.
How about this one?
It's too crispy or something.
Rides in on each breath with wings from
I think that works okay.
Wait, I haven't
It's
even
just a little subtle accent, you know.
I haven't even done the shit to this one. Hold on now.
But with the gong, it's a weird contrast.
from the sea, rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner, secrets from the sea, rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps secrets from the sea, rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder from the sea, rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. For the last little while I've been gathering up my broken mirror, taping it back together to look me in the eye, to tell me that I love me and believe me, 'cause it's true, there's too much to do, a new day is nigh. Rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me.
That swelly effect might be a little bit too hot.
Is night. Rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me. Sleep a tug. Light up, taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. Light to remind me of love.
Where it gets to its lowest point after it swells, maybe that lowest point shelf can be a little bit higher. A little bit.
Rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. Light to remind me of love.
Like that or more?
Kind of pretty because it I think that's enough. It just fills it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With like this other. These
How many days have I waved off the miracle to claim I have empirical proof that we're blind? How many ways do I hide from beauty, as if it's my duty to stay left behind? Rising on each breath with wings from above. Taps my shoulder, gives my sleep a tug. Even in the darkest corner there's enough light to remind me of love. have I laid awake wandering when my pirate plundering might come for me? How many crimes have I committed sleeping, dreaming there's no keeping secrets from the sea? Rising on each
Pretty amazing how effective that
with
porch
wings
board
from
is.
above.
You can actually feel it.
Taps
sometimes.
my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner, there's enough light to remind me of love. For the last little while, I've been gathering up my broken mirror, taping it back together to look me in the eye, to tell me that I love me and believe me, 'cause it's true, there's too much to do a new day's night. Rising on each breath with wings from above, taps my shoulder, gives my sleeve a tug. Even in the darkest corner, there's enough light to remind me of love. Light to remind.
Bouncing. I did talk to Ezra about mastering these. Mm-hmm. I want to find a way to. I was trying to put the pressure on.
That's looking good.
Right? Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
To find a way to finish this thing and get it out without getting hung up on it too bad.
Okay.
But at the same time, not hurrying it out. I'm a little confused because I didn't even consider the possibility of putting something out from this soon. But, but these 9 just got together. We're like, hey, you could call us a little winter collection. We'll Spotify stocking stuffer. I'm like, oh, didn't see that coming.
All right. Well, check out the frequency spectrum on that song with the tuba.
Yeah.
One song. Check that one out. There might be another one that kind of feels like it's like that too. With a little pop on the high end or something. Thinner.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do some more listening. And
Yeah, there's
now that we got
there
this
might
going.
be other bass work.
Oh yeah, right.
I have to pee, but like that Time to Fly, I wonder about that one. Oops, sorry, lapel mic. Forgot to mute you. Too late. That's some vintage streaming right there. Forgot to mute the
Stream of a stream.
My guitar case is over here, but I'm going to take my bass home with me because
Oh, where's your case?
I think I left it at home. I think I might have just brought it over quickly. Got the case.
All right, lapel mics are coming off. That means that's a wrap for this Thumpday. Thank you all so much. for tuning in, stopping by, saying hi,
Thumping along with us
thumping along.
on Happy Thump Day, everybody. Hope you got over the thump.
Oh shit. For some reason, it's no longer live. I saw a Facebook comment early. But none of these are on. That's a good question, actually. Wait, it says streaming in faint green right there.
It does.
Oh, here we are. Weird.